Hey y'all, let's meal prep some eggs for the week for the hubs for breakfast, and we're just gonna make some that are a little bit different this week. Sometimes I just make them with cheese and bacon in them, but I'm feeling like something a little different. So let's add some salsa, some chopped roast beef since they had that boar's head recall, and I want to make sure that I cook it. I don't think this was actually in the recall, but just to be safe. And yeah, we'll add some chopped bacon, some chopped roast beef, some salsa, some good stuff to the eggs. So to start, I mixed up like 21 eggs. I also added a little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to add these Kirkland bacon crumbles, about 4 slices of chopped roast beef to the pan with some butter. And you're just going to want to saute that till it's all cooked and hot. After that gets all warm, I'm just going to pour in like this mild salsa. You can use any salsa that you want. My husband just likes this one. And when you use the mild, it kind of just tastes like pico. Pico is also really good in eggs. So just keep sauteing this until your bacon is like popping and gets a little bit firm, because it's going to get, when you reheat the eggs later, it'll get less crispy. What I like to do is like fry my salsa a little bit, because I think it adds a nice depth of flavor to the eggs. Just keep sauteing until it looks good to you. And your salsa is really hot. I will say, if you use pico instead of salsa, I would suggest sauteing it longer, because in salsa, the onions and the tomatoes and the peppers and everything are already softened some, whereas in pico, they're crunchy. So unless you like crunchy veggies in your eggs, I would definitely say saute them longer. Then just pour in your eggs, but you want to make sure that as soon as you pour them in, you start stirring them, because your pan's really hot and they're going to start cooking. You want all the good stuff mixed into them pretty evenly. If you like cheese, just add it here. I'm going to do some Monterey Jack and some sharp cheddar that I grated. And be careful like buying already grated cheese, because I found all kinds of things in it to keep it from sticking. So they normally use cellulose, which is like wood pulp, and that's disgusting. And then also, if you're diabetic, a lot of them now are using potato starch, which will raise your blood sugar. So I think it's just better just to grate your own cheese if you have time and you can. And I know this kind of looks like a lot, but there's really like 21 eggs and a bunch of other stuff in here. And the hubby doesn't like a ton of cheese, and I like a ton of cheese, so it's kind of like a compromise. And if you like fluffy eggs, just keep them moving. There was a sweet lady when I was like 15 years old, and she's the one that taught me how to make eggs. I worked at the Chick-fil-A, and she went in there and she made eggs every Saturday. She was this older lady, probably 70 years old. And she actually taught me how to do it, because I always told her that her eggs were so good. And so that's what she said her trick was just to keep it moving. And then you just keep scraping it up and you end up with fluffy eggs. Just keep going until you got something that looks like this. Now, if you're doing meal prepping, I would just turn it off here, because it's a little bit loose or whatever. But for breakfast, people might like their eggs a little more cooked. Because when you microwave them later in the week, they're going to get more cooked, so you don't want them all dried out and nasty. So this is how they ended up, a little salsa eggs with some roast beef and bacon in them, and then I'll package them up for my hubby for the rest of the week.